How to trick your brain into liking. Discipline. Have you ever felt it? The profound and deeply frustrating chasm between the person you want to be and the person you actually are. In the clear, quiet, and rational light of your own mind, you know what you need to do. You know you need to exercise, to eat well, to do the deep, focused work, to practice the difficult craft, to be the disciplined and self-possessed individual who is the architect of their own great life. The blueprint is clear, the intention is pure, and then the moment of choice arrives and a different and far more powerful force takes over. It is a force of inertia, of comfort, of the deep gravitational pull of the easy and the familiar. The rational, aspiring self, the one with all the plans and all the ambition, seems to dissolve into a powerless and pathetic whisper. And the other one, the creature of pure, immediate, and often self-destructive impulse, takes the throne. The workout is skipped, the junk food is eaten, the difficult task is postponed, and you are left once again in a state of profound and corrosive self-loathing, trapped in a cycle of failed resolutions and broken promises, convinced that you are in some fundamental way lazy, weak-willed, and fatally flawed. You have likely spent your entire life trying to solve this problem with the tools of a tyrant. You have tried to force your own brain into submission. You have used shame. You have used guilt. You have used the brute and ultimately ineffective force of your own willpower. You have declared a war on your own laziness, believing that if you could just conquer this unruly and undisciplined part of yourself, you would finally be free. But it has not worked. In fact, it has made things worse. The more you fight yourself, the more you resist, the stronger the rebellious, pleasure-seeking part of you seems to become. But what if this entire approach is a catastrophic mistake? What if the problem is not that you are weak, but that you are using a strategy that is doomed to fail? What if you cannot win a war against your own brain, but you can, with a little bit of cunning and a deep understanding of its own secret language, trick it into becoming your most powerful and enthusiastic ally? The brutal and uncomfortable truth is that your brain is not a rational machine to be commanded. It is an ancient, emotional, and often irrational beast to be seduced. To trick your brain into liking discipline is to stop being the brutal and ineffective tyrant of your own mind and to start becoming its wise, patient, and deeply cunning master. It is the art of turning the greatest obstacle to your own success into the very engine of it. The primal beast, the ancient and irrational logic of your own brain. To understand how to trick your brain, you must first have a profound and unsentimental respect for the creature you are dealing with. The part of your brain that is sabotaging your best intentions, the part that chooses the cookie over the carrot, the couch over the treadmill, is not your enemy. It is, in fact, the oldest, most powerful, and, in its own strange way, wisest part of you. It is your primal brain, your limbic system, the ancient emotional beast that has been successfully keeping your ancestors alive for hundreds of thousands of years. This beast does not speak the language of logic, of long-term goals, of abstract aspirations. It speaks a far more ancient and far more powerful language. It speaks the language of survival. And its entire operating system is based on three, and only three brutally simple and non-negotiable laws. 1, seek pleasure. 2, avoid pain. And 3, do both with the least amount of effort possible. Every time you set a goal that involves discipline, you are, from the perspective of this ancient beast, declaring a war on all three of its sacred laws. The workout is pain. The healthy food is a denial of pleasure. The deep, focused work is an immense and unnatural expenditure of energy. The primal brain looks at your beautiful, logical, and ambitious plans, and it sees only one thing, a threat to its own survival. It sees a madman at the helm of the ship, steering it directly into a storm for no good reason. and it will do everything in its immense and subtle power to mutiny, to sabotage the journey, to pull the ship back to the calm, safe, and comfortable harbor of its own familiar habits. Your willpower, your conscious, rational mind, is a tiny, flickering candle in the face of this ancient, evolutionary hurricane. To try to defeat this beast with the brute force of your will is like trying to hold back the tide with a sand castle. You may succeed for a little while through a heroic and exhausting effort, but you will, inevitably, be overwhelmed. The path to victory is not through a direct confrontation. The path to victory is through guile, through cunning, through the art of the trickster. You cannot defeat the beast, but you can tame it, and you tame it by learning to speak its own language. The art of the micro-commitment. The first and most powerful trick in the art of seducing your own brain is to understand its profound and almost pathological fear of effort. The primal brain is an energy conservation machine. When it is faced with a large, intimidating, and effortful task, go to the gym for an hour, write a 10-page report, clean the entire house, it will trigger a massive and often overwhelming resistance response. This is the feeling of "I just can't." The trick is not to fight this resistance, but to sneak around it. You must learn to lie to your own brain. You do this by breaking down the terrifying, monumental task into a ridiculously, almost insultingly, small first step. You are not going to go to the gym for an hour. You are just going to put on your running shoes. That's it. That is the entire goal. You are not going to write a 10-page report. You are just going to open a new document and write a single sentence. You are not going to clean the entire house. You are just going to put one dish in the dishwasher. This is the art of the micro-commitment. To the rational mind, this seems absurd and pointless. To the primal brain, it is a masterpiece of psychological warfare. The task is so small, so non-threatening, so effortless, that it does not trigger the resistance alarm. The beast remains asleep. And in that moment, a powerful psychological principle kicks in, the principle of momentum. An object at rest tends to stay at rest, but an object in motion tends to stay in motion. Once you have put on your running shoes, the next logical step, stepping out the door, seems infinitely less daunting. Once you have written one sentence, the idea of writing a second one seems almost easy. You have tricked your brain into taking the first, most difficult step. You have bypassed its massive upfront resistance, and you have used its own love of the path of least resistance to your advantage. This is not about building a habit through brute force. It is about building it through a kind of gentle and loving deception. You are not the drill sergeant screaming at the lazy recruit. You are the cunning general finding the secret, unguarded path into the enemy's fortress. The hacking of the reward system. The art of instant gratification. The second great law of the primal brain is that it is a pleasure-seeking machine. But it is a very specific kind of pleasure-seeking machine. It has an almost complete inability to comprehend the concept of delayed gratification. The promise of a future reward, "I will have a great body in 6 months," is to the primal brain an abstract and meaningless fiction. It wants its pleasure, and it wants it now. The person who relies on willpower is constantly fighting this. They are trying to use the weak, abstract promise of a future reward to overcome the powerful, immediate, and very real pleasure of the cookie, of the couch, of the distraction. This is a losing battle. The trick is to stop fighting this system and to start hacking it. You must find a way to link the disciplined behavior you want to cultivate with a powerful and immediate reward. This is the principle behind what is known as temptation bundling. You want to go to the gym, but you hate the workout. You love listening to your favorite podcast. The trick is to create a rule for yourself. You are only allowed to listen to that podcast while you are at the gym. You have now taken the pain of the workout and you have bundled it with the immediate pleasure of the podcast. Your primal brain, which once saw the gym as a place of pure, unadulterated pain, now sees it as a place of pleasure. It will not just stop resisting the gym, it will start to actively crave it. This can be applied to any habit. You must do the deep, focused work, but you love the taste of a specific, fancy coffee. You are only allowed to drink that coffee while you are doing the work. You must eat the healthy salad, but you love watching your favorite trashy TV show. You can only watch that show while you are eating the salad. This may seem childish. It is. You are, in a very real sense, training a stubborn and pleasure-seeking toddler in your own mind. But it is a strategy that is built on a profound and unshakable understanding of the deep, irrational laws that actually govern our behavior. You are not trying to make your brain more rational. You are using its own irrationality to your advantage. You are not a philosopher trying to convince the beast of the virtues of a healthy life. You are a zookeeper, learning that the easiest way to get the panda into its enclosure is not to push it, but to lead it with a delicious piece of bamboo. The reframing of the narrative, the art of becoming the hero. The third, and most psychologically profound trick is to change the very story you are telling yourself about what discipline is. For most of us, the word discipline is a word of pain. It is a word of denial, of restriction, of a grim and joyless duty. It is the language of the tyrant, of the slave driver. And the primal brain, when it hears this language, will do what any sane slave will do. It will rebel. The trick is to change the story. You must, in a very deliberate and creative act of self-mythologizing, reframe the act of discipline not as an act of self-punishment, but as an act of self-love, of self-creation, of a heroic and thrilling adventure. You are not forcing yourself to go to the gym. You are a warrior, forging your own body into a weapon. You are an alchemist, transmuting the lead of your own inertia into the gold of your own vitality. The pain of the workout is not a punishment, it is the sacred and glorious pain of your own becoming. You are not restricting yourself from the junk food. You are a high-performance athlete, and you are choosing to put only the highest grade fuel into your magnificent machine. You are a sovereign king or queen, and you are refusing to allow the cheap, poisonous garbage of the outside world to enter your sacred kingdom. You are not making yourself do the difficult, focused work. You are a master artisan, and you are stepping into your sacred workshop to hone your craft. You are an explorer, and you are venturing into the dark and unknown jungle of a new idea, armed only with your courage and your machete of focus. This is not just a silly word game, it is a profound act of psychological alchemy. You are transforming the narrative from one of slavery to one of heroism. You are taking the very same set of actions, the very same set of discomforts, and you are imbuing them with a new and powerful meaning. And meaning, as the great psychologist Viktor Frankl taught us, is the one force that can allow a human being to endure any hardship. The primal brain may not understand logic, but it understands a good story. It understands the language of myth, of archetypes, of the hero's journey. By reframing your discipline in these terms, you are not just tricking the beast, you are recruiting it. You are giving it a role in a grand and exciting adventure. And a beast that has been given a heroic purpose is no longer a lazy and rebellious saboteur. It is a loyal and powerful steed, ready to carry you through any fire. The end of the war, the birth of a new and integrated self. What is the result of this strange and circuitous journey? What happens when you stop being the tyrant of your own mind and start becoming its cunning and compassionate trickster? You do not become a machine of perfect robotic discipline. You become something far more rare and far more powerful. You become a person who is no longer at war with themselves. The old agonizing cycle of resolution, rebellion, and shame begins to dissolve. It is replaced by a new and more graceful dance, a dance of gentle deception, of playful negotiation, of a deep and growing sense of partnership with the ancient and powerful creature that lives within you. You have not conquered the beast. You have befriended it. You have not silenced its desires. You have learned to speak its language and to gently and skillfully redirect its immense and powerful energy towards your own higher goals. This is the beginning of true freedom. It is not the fragile freedom of a willpower that is constantly on the verge of collapse. It is the deep, resilient, and unshakable freedom of a soul that has learned to integrate its own paradoxical nature. You have embraced the profound and uncomfortable truth that you are not one self, but two. You are a rational, aspiring God, and you are a pleasure-seeking, comfort-loving animal, and you have learned that the path to a great life is not to have the God murder the animal, but to have the God learn how to be a wise and loving master to it. This is the great and almost entirely forgotten secret of all self-mastery. It is not an act of war, it is an act of love. It is an act of profound and compassionate trickery. And it is a path that is available to you right now in this very moment. You do not need more willpower. You do not need to be a better person. You simply need to be a smarter one. You need to stop being the foolish and brutal king who is trying to rule his kingdom through fear and brute force. You need to become the wise and cunning magician, the one who understands the secret, hidden language of the very beast you are trying to control. And in that understanding, you will not just find the discipline you have been so desperately seeking, you will find a form of peace, of power, and of profound and deeply joyful self-acceptance that you never, in your wildest and most disciplined dreams, thought possible.